Welcome to No Stats, where we call it how we see it. What you looking for, bro? You all right? What's going on, man?
I'm trying to find Joel Embiid. I'm trying to find anybody seen the MVP? Yo, I haven't seen Joel in I ain't seen him all day.
That was bad, bro. Um, Sheesh. Yeah, speaking of Joel Embiid, Sixers 3-2 lead, right? Got game 5 in Boston. Seemed like the momentum shifted. Going back to Philly, everybody felt like they had a chance to close it out, but once they didn't close it out, you and I both said that we felt game 7 would go to Boston. The Sixers keep doing this to themselves, bro, over and over again. Tatum, 51, I think,
Out of
finished
this
with that.
world, man. Out of this
Showed you
world.
what a star is supposed to do and how you slam you slam that door shut. And the Sixers are going home again in the semifinals loss. I mean, they can't get over this hump. Doc Rivers has struggled with closing out series. The Philadelphia 76ers organization has struggled with closing out series. Joel Embiid and James Harden have struggled with closing out series in their careers. So they find themselves in this never-ending loop, trying to get to at least an Eastern Conference championship. We're not even talking about the finals. So I'll let you get, all your stuff off before I give you my synopsis.
First off, let's give a round of applause for Steph's MVP, who showed us tonight. I didn't exactly watch the game, and I know we don't do the numbers on those stats. I always state that when I'm stating the stat, but 5 for 18 from the field, 4 turnovers, 3 fouls. Just that's not gonna get it done in a game 7 on the road, which we had Boston coming out, but I think the Sixers could have had a way better showing. It looked good in the first half on paper, but that third quarter, I think they lost 33 to 10. Going into the fourth, Celtics was up 30. And James Harden tonight as well, 9 points, 3 for 11 from the field as well. He didn't shoot the ball at all, and it's just you maybe can get away with this in game 3, game 4, game 5, but in that game 7 when it go home, that's when the lights is the brightest. That's when shit matters, and Tatum showed that. Come on, man. I'm doing the numbers, man. We don't do the numbers, but I'm doing the numbers. 51 or 17, 28 from the field, man. Come on.
That's
Talk about
important. The
efficient.
numbers matter in this instance, bro.
Come
The
on, man.
numbers matter.
And then Embiid also said in his press conference that they need more. Guys surrounded, which was confusing because
I wasn't feeling that.
Maxey had 17. Tobias Harris had 19. PJ Tucker had 8 points in the first quarter, finished with 11. PJ had 11, bro. Come on. With
That's
the
like
two
PJ
guys.
career high.
That's like you guys are the horses, man. Y'all pull this shit. Y'all the reason why this shit is working.
Yeah.
And y'all don't show up, man. Y'all don't show up. And I think after that, after them blowing game 6, it was just they was already defeated, man. They already defeated, man.
Yeah, bro. It's this thing with the Sixers, bro. I don't know what it is. I think going into this series, right, we went, they got to play Boston. And I keep bringing up this game, in reference to this series, that game at home at the end of the season when Embiid had 52. And we did a show after that. And I said, even though Embiid went off and they beat Boston, right, and it was a big thing for Philly because, they struggled to beat the Celtics. I said, it took 52 Embiid to play perfect at home with no Jaylen Brown for them to beat the Celtics. I just don't think they're a better team than the Celtics. And then I got excited because game 5, they went in Boston and did what they did. And I'm like, maybe they're turning this corner just to be let down again.
Typical Sixers shit, bro. And not to cut you off, to piggyback off that game 5 was the best game that Philly played all series. Think about it.
Yes.
The other games that they won, Harden literally had to get 40 for them to win those games. Like,
Yep.
come on, bro.
Yep.
They
And
need out of
and
this world games.
yeah, and you touch on my next point. That what if Harden doesn't go vintage Harden in those two games, right? Is this even a series? What if Jason Tatum, and I know we're playing this if game, but doesn't struggle the way he did outside of this game, outside of game 7? I know he played well in the fourth quarter of game 6 and, played well outside of shooting the basketball, right? Scoring the basketball isn't everything. And that's one thing I like about Jason Tatum because he'll find ways to contribute outside of scoring when his shot's not falling. But a lot of things bounce the Sixers' way to get to this game 7. And I just don't know what it is, bro. I can tell you one thing. I wouldn't be surprised if this is being recorded on Sunday night. I wouldn't be surprised if Monday morning we see that Doc Rivers has been fired, bro. Because you can't keep going through this, bro. You got a 3-2 lead. Like I said, you got to go home. I don't know if James Harden's going to be back. And quickly, to touch on that statement that Joel Embiid made, I don't like that. He said it's just me and it's just me. We need more than just me and Harden and all of that. I'm not feeling that. You take as a leader. You know how I feel about these leadership traits and the intangible traits. As a leader, you the best player on the team. I don't care if you have 45. It's on you. You know what Absolutely. I mean? If you want to pull your teammate to the side, let's work on our. Y'all can talk that out. But as a leader of a team, you stand up and you take all those bullets. That's what a leader does. You lead from the front. You know what I mean? You go, I got to get better. I was 5 for 18. I couldn't do this. You see what Tatum did on that side. I got to be able to match that. I should have did that in game 6 at home. So I wasn't feeling that from Embiid. I wasn't feeling that at all.
Yeah, it seemed like a little subtle dig at the supporting cast that they have who, I stated it early in the show. They stepped up today. They play well. You get that from them, and Harden and Embiid play their usual games. They may win that game.
Right.
Maybe.
Bro.
Tatum can't get 50, though.
Bro, I kept saying to myself, like, I just wanted to watch a competitive game 7. Like, I just wanted to be like, all right, it's Mother's Day, over the in-laws' house. Turn the Sixers-Celtics game on and let's watch a good game. Man, by middle of the third quarter, we like, all right.
Turn this shit off.
Yeah, bro.
Let me ask you, bro. What do you do this off season? And wait, hold on. Before you even ask that, is it really set in stone that this is Doc Rivers? Was that Doc Rivers' last game in Philly?
I think so. I would bet my money on it being his last game, but I'm not sure. I don't know what relationship Daryl Morey and Doc Rivers have. I don't know if ownership is going to step in and say he has to go. Like I said, I would fire him, and I think that's going to happen.
I think it's
you got to change something up.
50, yeah, you definitely do.
I think it's a little higher. I think it's more 50. Like 75-25. So let me hear why you think it's 50-50.
I think because we don't know the relationship that Doc has and the relationship that he may have with a James Harden and Joel Embiid, what them guys sit down and talk about. But the reason why I also lean towards why I feel like they're going to move him is because, you need a new voice in that locker room sometimes. And this was their year. Like, this was the year that was James Harden got the first full season under his belt, healthy. I know, Joel Embiid, he has his injuries, but he had a great season. Obviously, he's your fucking MVP and shit.
Not my MVP. And the NBA's MVP.
He's your MVP. So I definitely think that like he'll have to. They got to really reevaluate things going into this off season. And that's what my next question was coming from. What do you go from here? Like, as far as like pieces,
well,
would you move some guys?
So I'm kind of everywhere with where do you go from here with the Sixers, bro? Because it's disappointing that you've seen a window, and it's not guaranteed they could have beat Miami in the next series, right? But you feel confident about that. Miami being the 8th seed, and just how you've played, especially up 3-2 against Boston. You can kind of see that light at the end of the tunnel to the NBA Finals, and it's disappointing that they wasn't able to grab that. But on the flip side, I think Joel Embiid needs to look in the mirror and get better as a star player, bro. I know he was the MVP. I get it, but I feel like that was his championship.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that needs to come. Those accolades need to come along the way. That can't be the end goal. You know, he felt like he should have got it, 2 years ago? And you could tell he was upset about not getting it over Jokic. That can't be your primary goal. So I think Embiid needs to do some searching. I think you need to get Doc out of there. Not saying that Doc doesn't deserve another chance somewhere else, but just freshen it up.
Mm-hmm.
I thought about this. Not sure if it's going to happen, but Jay Wright, retired Villanova head coach, he's just in media. I think that'd be a nice grab. Switch it up. It'll give a lot of momentum.
My
You like
thing,
that?
I don't like
You don't like
the
Jay?
college. I know it's not even nothing against Jay. These guys can be phenomenal, bro. But it just
Yeah.
I don't see the transition. Like, Billy Donovan, who was the other Chicago Bulls head coach? Fred Hoiberg, I think.
Yeah. Well, you
I
could
don't
go
really.
Brad Stevens.
And
And
that's
look
what I
what
was
he
gonna say.
done.
But even for Brad Stevens, they got his smart ass right up out of there,
Yeah.
put him right in the damn office. Like,
No,
president of basketball operations.
Only reason I say that is because I heard murmurs about Jay Wright, but I just think you need to freshen that coaching up. Doc, you can't. If you walk like a duck, quack like a duck, it's a damn duck. Like he keeps he keeps doing this, bro. He keeps blowing series, man, with talented teams when you're up. And it's a pattern. It's habitual at this point. Like he just keeps doing it. I think he needs to go. You need to freshen that up. As far as pieces around them, bro, I just wish they can up. I think I know you said he had 19 in game 7. But if they could upgrade Tobias Harris, and I know they can't. I know they're paying him a fortune. And he still, I believe I think he still got 2 years on his contract. But I think Tyrese Maxey needs to take a step forward. I don't know, bro.
I think they gotta tune that bench up a little bit, like Niang and fucking Shake and like D'Anthony Miller was the only like consistent productive player like off the bench, and he started a little bit this season. And I think your front court got to get better. Like Paul Reed, phenomenal young guy, but still they need like a vet over there next to Embiid that's gonna push him, but that can be more productive than Montrezl Harrell, if that like makes sense. So
I agree.
I don't want us to take up, because we could go on and on with the offseason. And stick with the coaches before we get to the Lakers segment. Monty Williams was dismissed as head coach. Well, fired, I should say.
I was about to say dismissed.
He was fired from the Phoenix Suns following their loss to the Denver Nuggets. Me and you text about this briefly, but what was your initial thoughts when that news dropped?
I think Monty Williams is a great head coach, right? But it's a performance-based job. And if you don't perform when I give you the tools to perform, we need to look elsewhere. Like I get you got to a finals, but you couldn't close the deal then, and you were up 2-0, if I'm not mistaken, in that finals, right? Then I give you arguably the best player in the game today. I know you had little time to adapt, but it's the nature of the beast. So I get it from an ownership and a general manager's standpoint. I think Monty will land on his feet, but kind of surprising to happen this early and soon. But I guess they want to get into that head coaching search immediately. My only question is, where do you go? Like, where do you look? And I know there might be gems on assistant coaches and things like that, but you want somebody to have an immediate impact, right? Because you're still in that win now window. It's not like another team. I'm drawing a blank on the team, but yeah, exactly. Like Toronto with the JJ Redick thing. That's fine, but you're in a win now mode. So I'm not sure where they go. What's your thoughts on it, though, bro?
I agree, bro. This is another one where I think that the voice got stale. I see it more now after he's fired, that you can see sometimes that KD and Devin Booker were coming down, just shot for shot, not running no offense, not execution. And you kind of see like the coach getting,
Bro,
boxed out.
real fast, man, like me and Quan.
At this game. We ain't running nothing. Give me the ball
Yeah.
and get out the fucking way. But
Nah, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
and I just felt like, they just needed that change, and it is going to be interesting to see who gets in there. I think they need a coach that, if you're going to bring in an assistant guy, that a battle tested assistant guy, it got to be of like Darvin Ham's caliber. And I'm not saying that just based off what he's doing with the Lakers. It is some of that, but also where he's been. He was in Milwaukee for years, under Mr. No Adjustments, Mike Budenholzer, and learning in that organization. And he has that, his character and the way he approaches his players and the game plan and the way he executes his voice, like all
Mm-hmm.
that is like, those are the intangibles that you need to like lead dominant ball clubs and dominant players like Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. These are alphas. So you got to be able to approach alphas, also, having knowledge and understanding of the game, but also standing your ground and having that dominance
Mm-hmm.
within, your organization. So I think they need
Agree.
to, look for a guy of that type of caliber, because like you said, they are ready to win now. Um,
I agree,
and
bro. Quickly though, with the Lakers and Darvin Ham, right, and this is touching on a point that you made. They were able to polish that bench. Schroeder coming off the bench. You seen what Lonnie's been doing. You see what Roy Hachimura's been doing. Guys been coming off the bench and giving you production, and that goes back to the GM Rob Pelinka and Daryl Morey. But question for you: do you think? And this will be my last question on Monty. Do you think the way they lost that last game, Game 6 in Phoenix, is the reason why he got fired? Like, do you think if they go Game 7, but to get, it'd have been a different outcome, but to get blown out on your home floor, do you think
uh,
that might have put the
yeah,
nail in the?
absolutely. I
Yeah.
think you go game 7, you run it back. I think that balance beam tips to more towards, oh, y'all had 20 games to get it together. Kevin Durant
Mm-hmm.
gets hurt damn near by the end of the season. Then he comes
Right.
back like, right into the playoffs. Chris Paul getting hurt, DeAndre Ayton not playing up to par. Who Phoenix needs to look into trading. That'll be a video for another day. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but having all that and you still losing a game 7, I think they run it back with Monty one more time. Um,
Agreed. Agreed. Agreed.
so we go.
But let's get into the Lakers and the
Cool.
team that beat the Suns. Lakers Nuggets. The Lakers first. Let's touch on the Lakers. In this Warriors series. Um, I told you it was gonna be over in 6.
Caught it. You
I
called
told you it was
it,
gonna be
man.
over in 6, bro. I didn't think. Like I said, bro, Clay wasn't playing good all series. Number one, right? He shot hard. He was shooting horrible. And the role players, the JaMychal Greens, the guys that were stepping up in Golden State, I didn't think that would translate in LA, and vice versa. On the flip side, I thought that the Lakers role players, i.e. Austin Reeves and Dennis Schroeder, even Lonnie, played well in that Game 6. God, they would play well at home. And then to top it off, I just knew LeBron would have his imprint on this game.
Hmm.
If you want to do it, this is the game. You don't want to find yourself in the Game 7. And you know how I feel about Bron. I think he's the greatest player of all time. So I was just putting my faith in. I know he has 38-year-old legs, but he'll do what he needs to do to make sure that he closes this game. And he did that with 39 and 9. And AD wasn't the dominant offensive AD, but we'll take 17, 20 boards in a defensive presence that, you know,
Huge
he
defensive
displayed.
presence.
So, man, I'm liking this Lakers team. I know we're gonna get into predictions and previews for the next round, but what did you see in that Warriors Lakers game 6?
Oh, the interior, man. Like the Warriors literally had no answer for Anthony Davis all series.
Mm-hmm.
You got Kevin Looney, who was phenomenal in that Sacramento series, and still played well off the bench and on the glass, but
Mm-hmm.
still nothing on AD. And then you go small, you put Draymond on him, and Draymond's he's gonna play great defense, but still not enough for Anthony Davis. And I think
Yeah.
with the lack of production from Poole, from their other bench guys, and Clay being as cold as he was in those games, I think he only had one good game the whole series,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
that was that game two. I don't think I don't think that was gonna be enough. Even Curry getting 30 and Curry getting 30-point triple double shit just wasn't enough. Like
Yeah.
the Lakers is
And
just
Curry didn't play
imposing their
well in Game
will.
6 either. He shot under 50% from the field. I know he had 27, but I think he was. I don't know
They
the
scrapped.
numbers,
They
but
scrapped. They scrapped it, bro. That like you could
yeah,
just tell there was certain shots they was getting away from what made them Golden State in the first place. And I'm not saying they
right.
wasn't out there executing or running their stuff, but I never seen Golden State as like out of sync and like out of tune. And
Mm-hmm.
credit that to the Lakers who were getting up in their shit, getting up in their mitt, bullying them,
Yep.
forcing their
Old
will
school
on them, bro.
basketball.
Bully
No,
ball, give me the ball, like move the fuck out the way. We're getting to the line. You know what I'm saying? Y'all
controlling the
can shoot
paint.
these threes. Like, come on, man. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it
Mm-hmm.
was a great series though, and just to show, and it just shows how fast time flies because it was like just that quick. Like the Warriors was on the mountaintop, and now
And
they're
the Lakers
already
were at the
home in the second
bottom of
round.
the mountain, bro. Before the
Yes,
trade deadline.
come on, bro. 2-10 to start the season, bro.
Mm.
Like,
Now, question for you, and I'll end it here. Same question with the Sixers. What do you do with Golden State going into this
I
offseason?
seen something today on the Draymond situation with Jordan Poole and how that kind of lingered tension inside the locker room. I think they need to clear that air if they're gonna keep this ball club together. And then, work on plugging in your holes. Like I feel like the guard rotation is fine as long as you got, Steph Clay, Jordan Poole. If he's mentally right, he needs a big off season to get himself back to being worth the bag that he got. I
Right.
think Dante is a solid. I don't want to call him a veteran because he's still young, but he's a little bit battle tested. He done came from some solid organizations,
Mm-hmm.
and I think you look to find a more interior big who Jameis Wiseman was supposed to be that for them, and
Yeah.
you got to upgrade it because Draymond and Kevin Looney at this day and age of the way the games is, you need something out there. I just stated this with Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. Somebody got to be fucking being able to shoot a goddamn mid range, sit out and stretch the floor and shoot the three. And Draymond shot phenomenal from three this year, but that's not his game. If you
Right.
don't have that a big that you could throw that shit to in the fucking post and you could take some of that extra shit off Steph and them, I feel like that's what they need when you run into series now. To even if they would have luckily got out of this fucking series, they were not gonna beat Jokic and them again. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like I don't think they beat the Nuggets again. But you need somebody that can match up and at least give something to compete with guys like Anthony Davis's and Nikolai Jokic's, and if you meet in the finals, you happen to see like a Joel Embiid. You know what I'm saying? You need them type of guys, and they don't have that right now. And I don't know, bro. It's gonna be interesting. I know you. I want to bring this up. You had stated prior. It was
Mm-hmm.
a low short cliff note of you think Draymond might be out of there this year. Um,
Uh, yeah, bro. I just think I keep repeating this, but I mentioned getting rid of players while you can, and at the right time. It's so hard to do, and I think that's why some GMs, fell. Right, you hanging on, for a long time, but you have to be able to. Steph Curry is your guy. Clay's your guy. I understand what Draymond brings to this team. I fully understand. But something needs to refresh. I'm not going to say the Warriors dynasty is over, but I don't think it's projecting upward. Steph's game has projected upwards over these last 2 years, bro. Believe it or not. Clay's game has been going down. Draymond's game, I know he had a big game. What was that? 3 or 4.
and he just had a good
Um,
game for you.
yeah, I know he had. Or I think it might have been 5. And
Game five.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah. I know he had a big game 5. I get that, but it's not the consistent Draymond and the effort that he was given prior. Last year, when there was a lot of Andrew Wiggins, I like Wig. I know he was getting back into the rhythm, but some things just need to change. And I think if you're going to let a piece go, I know Draymond brings a lot intangible, but I just think that's a position that you can look to get a little, a little better at.